What do you think, Paul? How badly did he misjudge this trade?
I mean, this is the most historical trade in my lifetime. Seeing a franchise player of this caliber getting traded in the middle of his prime. I don't even know what to say, and I don't even know how you recover from this. And the only way to get the people off your back, you have to win a championship. You have to, in the next 3 or 4 years in Dallas, you have to win. There's the only way to justify this. And so the more and more we come out, we hear Nico talk to try to justify it. It's not really working with the fans. And so the only thing that can quiet the noise up is they do what they need to do to try to win a championship with Anthony Davis, though.
Yeah. I will say
listen to my masterclass in saying a whole lot of nothing. Thought I did a really compelling job.
Amazing.
No, it is a whole lot of nothing, but everything Paul said is actually true. But I could see how he could be, I know it sounds crazy, how he could be dumbfounded by this. Because if you're in the building, and that's all you're not hearing all the stuff on the outside until it really starts to boil over. Once you moved him, at that point, you was like, oh, bleep, bleep, bleep. Because the noise, everybody booing and fire him. He didn't think that whether it was him that decided to do it or the owners decided to do it and he's backing the owners, he didn't think that it was getting ready to be like an avalanche collapsing on him at that moment. I promise you he didn't. Because he's so entrenched with he's so entrenched with trying to build a championship team. That's why he's saying to you, hey, if AD was here and Kyrie was here and Lively was here, we felt that that was going to be a championship team because that was going to soften the blow. If they had gone further than the Lakers with those guys healthy and playing, it softens his blow.
But they didn't.
But they didn't. So he's getting hit hard across the head with it, and he sees it now. I don't owe him anything. I'm just telling you, I can see, Rick, and you can too, how, regardless of what we think, how if you're in that building and you got them blinders on and them earplugs in, you not knowing what's going on around you. You don't believe it for one bit.
I get the second part, and I agree with the second part. If they had been healthy, if they had Kyrie, P.J. Washington, Lively, A.D., and Clay on the floor, I think they would have been successful, and it would have quieted, it would have quelled some of it.
Yeah, some of it.
But come on. He got there in 2021. He was hired in 2021.
I understand.
He's been there through a lot of success with Luka.
But let me ask you this.
You can't possibly, this isn't national perspective. This is Dallas fans, Mavericks fans, and how they feel about Luka Doncic. The idea, now you may have not realized how intense and devoted they were.
Yes.
But he was basically saying, like, I didn't know the fans cared this much.
But you don't think, you don't believe that to be
I wasn't aware.
True at all, that he didn't, like, they didn't, you know, you've seen people move on from places that they probably shouldn't have moved on from in different fields. And all of a sudden, it looks different. And it feels different.
I would not have even touched the part of how the fans feel about it. I would have said, you know what? When AD got injured 2.5 quarters after the trade, that changed the entire complexion of what we hoped would happen. That's the best you can do, because there's no way around this.
I prefer him to be honest than try to.
But I'm just not sure that that's honest. Like I had no idea that the fans were going to react this way. Really?
Because what if let me ask you this question, you and Joy and Paul. Is there such a thing that maybe the influence, don't be looking at me like that.
She's giving you the same look that I was giving you. You have no place to turn. You're going to look that way, you're going to get that, and you look this way, you're going to get the same thing.
Look,
go ahead, Paul will give you the same thing.
But could it be that the influence of he doesn't play any defense, he doesn't do this, do that, seep into the minds of not only the owner, but also the general manager to help him make a decision that he didn't think was going to garner the attention from the local fan base that it did. Now, you got to be honest now, Rick.
See, if he was going to be totally truthful, he would say, look, My owner didn't want to pony up $345 million.
That part right there. That's
But
just
he
what I was
ain't. You're
thinking.
trying to lose his damn job.
That part.
Okay, but he may lose it anyway. But if we're going to be like, if we're going to go to he's being truthful, that's where it starts.
That's where it starts.
Yeah. Look, he doesn't actually have to be truthful.
And we would prefer him to be truthful.
No, I don't. I don't actually believe that. I don't need it. I don't need honesty. I don't need truth. Because I'm not going to get the truth, because the truth is that part. The truth is that this trade did not happen without the adamant approval of the owner of the Dallas Mavericks.
Of course.
Nobody's trading Luka Doncic without the owner saying trade him.
That's right.
It's 0%, 0%. Whether it was Nico's idea or it was the owner's idea, it doesn't matter.
You don't go down that road.
It was not Nico's 100% decision.
That's right.
And we all know this because we all have brains. So, that being said, he's not going to be honest. It's just like politicians. People are like, oh, why would a politician lie to me? That's what politicking is. That's why when people say they're politicking, that they feel like they're being disingenuous. No. They're not being honest, and they don't owe us that honesty because you're not going to be honest. If you're going to lie, just lie, say a bunch of word salad, and get the hell out of there. At the end of the day, this was an unprecedented trade. This was an unprecedented trade. Paul's never seen anything like it in his lifetime. It broke the internet. None of us have. Yeah. We don't know how it's going to play out, but we can all assume, based off of Luka's age and the talent that we have already seen him put on the court year after year after year in his very young career. And by the way, the results that we've had from Anthony Davis, when Anthony Davis has had to be a number one, that this is going to go poorly for Dallas. And the excuse that you just don't know, listen, go outside, touch a little grass, and then come back inside and make a decision. But that you get paid to make these decisions.
But it was after the fact, though, Joy. He didn't know that these people would be out in front of his house.
You don't know what the pulse of the city and the fan base is not something I want to hear.
Yes.
It is your job.
Agreed.
You get a direct deposit every 2 weeks to run every single aspect of this organization, which includes having some people who go outside and talk to the locals every once in a while. You don't got no man. Where your man's at? You need more people. So again, it's not. I do not believe this is all Nico's fault.
No, it's not.
Because you have an owner, and an owner has to sign off.
Everybody that's somebody that get traded in renegotiations, the owner's signing off on it anyway.
Has to.
The owner and the owner's wives and all, they getting involved. There's no question about it. But I just believe sometimes people can't read the room. They can't go out there and touch the grass because they so stuck in.
I get you.
Their own stuff.
They need a bigger staff. So find somebody. Pay somebody to touch grass.
Yeah, but
come back and let you know.
And there are executives who are so cloaked in just in their office and doing their research or their scouting or whatever.
There's no way he knew they was going to have signs, Rick, talking about fire Nico with T-shirts. There's no way.
No, no. But I don't want to miss or overlook the fact that when they made the deal, there were plenty of NBA people who said they're closer to winning a title now than they were.
Yeah.
That they just shortened the direction. So not that it was everybody thought, oh, that's a mistake. That's an unmitigated mistake to do that, right? Mm-hmm. There were people who believed that from a basketball standpoint,
there's a better,
if healthy, that it made sense.
Yes.
All right? But then AD got hurt, Kyrie Irving got hurt, and they never had a chance to show that. So if I'm Nico, I'm not talking about how the fans reacted, and I didn't expect them to react the way they did.
But I think that question was posed to him, correct?
Yeah.
Probably.
Yes. Did you know? Right?
So what are you going to say?
Nothing. Ask me the question.
Did you know that Paul Pierce...
Oh, no.
Moving on from Paul Pierce, the fans would go crazy, Joey. Did you know?
The first part of what he said? I did know that Luka was important to the fan base. And I think that if we had a healthy roster to finish the season, we would still be playing in the postseason right now and on our way to potentially winning a championship. Unfortunately, that's not how it went. And we're looking forward to retooling this offseason and getting healthy so that we can begin our quest for a championship next year.
Well done.
I don't charge a lot.
That's it.
I would say it's a very, very reasonable
I could have did the same thing.
The Thunder had no issues taking care of the Grizzlies, beating them by 51. Biggest blowout of any game in Game 1 in NBA history. OKC had every starter and one player off the bench hit double digits in the win. Oh.
They gave that.
Oh my God.
Come here.
Oh my God.
They gave him that belt yesterday, didn't they?
Is that what you text me?
They got that belt yesterday.
With the buckle.
With the buckle.
Oh,
yeah, you know you get hit the buckle up your head.
That's nasty work right there.
The buckle. They got hit with the buckle.
Trauma of the sound of the bell.
They got hit with that buckle.
Whipped it off.
Boy, bow.
See, I never got.
Really?
No, not
got
the
the
buckle.
belt?
No, I didn't get the belt either. It was extension cords, switches. It wasn't no
Stitching
buckles.
cords.
I didn't get the extension cord right out the back of the TV. Boy, you know, go get that. Look, all you hear is
They got that extension cord yesterday.
you hear that. You hear that sound? You already know. You running around that little bitty ass apartment. You trying to run from corner to corner because you can't go nowhere. You can't go nowhere at all. But that's basically what happened to the Grizzlies yesterday, like Paul said. They got that belt.
That buckle.
Don't you dare come on this damn court no more.
Home
Yep.
with those grades looking like that.
Well, we know what they thought the statement was. Rick, what kind of statement did the Thunder make with a 51-point win?
That their 68-win season deserved more respect than I think we
man.
gave them, right? But I think there was a healthy skepticism about what it meant because of a recent history. Prior to the Celtics winning last year, the team with the best record, 2 years ago it was the Bucks, and they got knocked out in the first round. 3 years ago, the Suns had the best record, and they didn't make it out of the second round. Jazz, 4 years ago, best record, didn't make it out of the second round. Bucks again, 5 years ago, didn't make it out of the second round. So I think there was a healthy skepticism about, yeah, they're a really good regular season team, but is that going to translate to the postseason? And I believe that the Thunder heard that, they knew that, and they wanted to let everybody know, hey, we're for real, and we're going to show you in the postseason.
And they're also building, though. I mean, it's like any step when you go into football. You win the division, you go to a wild card, and you take the next step to the second
they're
round.
gaining
win a playoff game.
Playoff game. And that's pretty much, I believe, where OKC is right now. But for Memphis, this is what happens to you, know, when you fire a coach a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
When you fire a coach, this is kind of what happens to you.
Yeah, I mean, they were a playing team without a head coach. So, you know, you set yourself up for this. And OKC's been ascending for a while. They have an MVP-level player. They're gaining confidence as the #1 team in the league. So it's not 50 points, obviously. And I don't think that Memphis is going to lose by 50 again.
Okay, so they lose by 22.
But so the OKC was 3-0 against Memphis this season and beat them by an average of 19 points.
Yeah, I mean, I think
it
this
hasn't
is going
been
to be a
close
very
all year
short
long.
series. I don't think it'll, I don't think they're going to add to the list of records
Yes.
in this.
The league will be another
It's
50
the fifth
spot.
biggest margin of victory in NBA postseason history. I think I'll only have to say that once this series.
They got that switch, not that belt.
No buckle?
The switch, though. Switch was something else, though.
Switch.
Make sure you get the one.
You ever get a Hot Wheel track?
No, because we didn't have.
What about a fly swatter?
Yeah, for sure.
I would have grabbed that.
Yeah, grab that. Yeah,
Get that up out of here,
I didn't
Mom.
grab. I didn't reach.
Get that up out
You know,
of
I didn't reach for a lot of stuff. You know how I go, Paul.
You gotta reach.
But the
Get your
extension
knuckles
cord.
hit.
Don't miss, though.
It's hard to grab that.
Don't miss. Extension cord hurt, Joy.
That thing
Fly
hurt.
swatter is
Fly swatter's for
serious.
real.
Kids don't know what it
wire.
is. I don't even know if kids would know what a fly swatter is.
I'm grabbing
Oh,
that
good
fly
point.
swatter. I'm
Good
knocking
point.
that away.
Yeah, the fly swat. We knocked out that extension cord, though.
Nah, you ain't knocking that
That's
away.
some oomph. Subscribe here to get the latest from Speak and go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.